So, I mean, basically, the loyalty is something that we've talked about before, and having your own personal code of ethics. And when I say your own personal code of ethics, they're just some things that I'm not gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do certain things because it's just not in my personal code of ethics. You know what I'm saying? So the one thing that I'm really learning now is learning when to be selfish, learning when to be selfless. And I think that I'm selfless most of the time. I'm a very giving person. I'm a very loyal person. But I'm starting to learn that, I don't say I'm starting to learn, I'm starting to really acknowledge and just take it for what it is, that loyalty can really work against you, especially if you're not getting that in return. So there's a such thing of being over loyal, you know.
How so?
I mean,
what example?
If you're constantly giving and giving and giving to somebody because you've been knowing them a while, and this other person is not returning that when you need them, you know.
So you're speaking of a business-wise or relationship-wise, or
all across the board?
Okay.
All across the board, you know. It's that person that someone's like, and I'm sure everybody out there can relate to this. It's that one person that, it could be your brother, your friend, your mother, it could be whoever, that, you know, they can call you every time they're going through something. And you'll sit on the phone with them a couple of hours, talk to them, let's kick it, let's do something, you know, whatever. But then you don't ever have that same person to call when you need them. Ever. I mean, like, ever. And it just gets to a point where you have to pull it back. But because you're close to this person, or you've been knowing them for years, then when they get that call, not only do you want to be there for them, but you're proud to be there for them. It's just who you are, you know.
Right.
So that's where you have to learn to be selfish, because you can't constantly carry the weight of other people's pain all the time, you know. And personally, for me, I've gotten to a point in my life, I've dealt with so many other people's pain and my own that I just can't. I can't do it no more. I have to start living for me, and I have to be selfish in that sense. You know, this is a good time in my life to be selfish. You know, I spent a lot of time in my life being selfless, and if I continue to do that, I'm gonna go crazy. I mean, no doubt, I'm gonna go crazy. Sure. I gotta shut people out, man. You know, if every time you talk to somebody they got bad news, you know, stop calling them. You know, if every time I call you got bad news, I gotta stop calling you. You know, and that's,
especially if you're not doing anything to resolve it.
Right, you know, I mean, every time I call, you got bad news. Every time. I ain't talked to you in 3 months. Call, you got bad news.
You got bad news.
I got, okay, all right, that's cool, you know. And I'm at that point in my life now, just learning to be selfish.
Is that part of the evolution? Is that part of the evolution?
Because they both wanted the same, you know. You know, being selfless and being selfish is really one of the same when you really, really think about it. You know, and because both can hurt you in a very serious way. Both can hurt you, and if both of them are hurting you, you have to learn to balance. There's a balance in that, when to do one or when to do the other.
We're gonna try to segue this into a little different area. Let's talk about the energies and the spirit that people have that that may actually impede their growth from evolving.
You know, people's spirit, the more you get in tune with yourself, the more you'll be able to see people's energy, or feel it, you know, feel their energy, you can see it, feel it. And it's sad in a lot of ways, some of the energies you see, and it's great with some of the other energies that you see. You know, there are certain people with energy out there you want to be a part of, you want to be around them, and then there are other people out there where you just don't want them near you even if you don't know them, because the energy reeks of whatever it is, you don't want to be a part of it. The one thing I've learned, man, for me, the more spiritual I become, the more I speak to the universe, the more I meditate and things like that, you know, the more real you get, the more unreal the world gets. And that's a quote by John Lennon. And it's true, man. The more I get more in tune with myself, the more crazier things get out here, because you begin to see things a certain way. And when you see things a certain way, and a lot of people are not seeing it, you do, you begin to limit yourself. You begin to feel alone in a lot of ways, because you want to share the same energies with people
with likewise
energy, and it's very difficult to do because there are so many people that are not doing that. You know, most of us are just basically searching for the next vanity. You know what I'm saying? We want to, you know, look good. We want to look good, and we want to, you know, just look good and everything like that.
So if a person's spirit or their energy is not level, not even, is off kilter, it throws them off, right? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, and I'm also saying that people who have bad energy are afraid of their own energy. So
say it again. Repeat that.
People who have bad energy are afraid of their own energy. So the people that never wants to be by themselves, the people that are always throwing a cookout, barbecue, always need people around them all the time, don't ever want to be alone. Most of the time, those people don't want time to think to themselves or the bad energy that they have, because they got to keep something going all the time. Because when you're left alone, you have to think. When you're left alone, you have to focus. And there's so many people that have to have something going on all the time. Never want to be silent. Never want to be alone. And those are the people that are afraid of their own energy. And I'm sure we all know somebody like that.
So they're pretty much afraid of the energy, or they're afraid of what they may actually hear.
Both.
If they sit still.
Both. I had to go through that, man, when I first moved here, man. My first time ever, like, being by myself, quiet, man, it was crazy. I mean, it was really, like, with just all of these thoughts coming in just from my life up until that point.
So you was battling yourself.
I was battling myself.
Your inner self, your thoughts and your ideals, your mindset.
And I started writing things down. That was probably the best thing I could have did. I started writing things down. And it wasn't poetry. I just started writing stuff. I just started writing different thoughts, different things. I have all these journals from like 1999 and different things. I go back and read them every now and then, the things that I was writing down.
And were you shocked at what you saw?
Yeah, you always like, man, wow, that was interesting. Shocked in some good ways, but shocked in some bad ways, you know, how it was at the time.
Okay, so during some of those moments when you were being quiet or in your home, and did you ever become, I can say afraid, but in the sort of a quandary as to who am I really and what is going on?
Yeah. I still deal with that a little bit every now and then. I still ask myself, who am I? You know, I still ask myself that from time to time. You know, but I think it's a good question to ask yourself, because it helps me continue to think of who I am and help me evolve as a man, you know what I'm saying? A couple of years ago, I went into the hospital, man, and I'm laying in the hospital. I'm in there like 3 weeks, man, and you know, there's a whole lot of realities that come to you when you're in the hospital, man. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nobody else around. A whole lot of realities, and you really, really, really start to see, you know,
who your friends are.
Yeah, you really do start to see that, and you really start to see when you get out who you want to be around you. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, unfortunately, it's usually people that you like a lot, but you know that they're bad for you. You know what I'm saying? You know that they're bad for you. They're a bad person to be in your life, although you've been kicking it with them for so long. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's kind of the situation that I went through. Cutting off, 15-year relationships, and people I thought I respected. Turned out you start, because when you get laid on that bed, man, you got a lot of time to think, man.
At least you hope you do.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But no, but that's the thing. When you lay on the hospital bed, man, trust me, you'll get it all in. Even if you got an hour to live, you'll get it all in. You'll get all them regrets in. Like, man, you know what? And that's unfortunate because a lot of people, including myself, man, when you have that last hour to live, you start to remember, like, man, just maybe I should have did this, or maybe I should have did that. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be there.
So how do you end up not being at that juncture? How would you start to weed out the I wish I hadn't?
Like, I ain't gonna curse nobody out on camera, but damn. Go ahead.
That was a bad move. So how do you keep that from happening? That those I wish I woulda, I wish I wouldn't have done.
Now you just straight up watch the signs, man. Like, you gotta cut stuff off, not just people, but situations, immediately when you see the sign of something. Leave it alone. Drop it. Cut it. Because it ain't about what you want it to be. It's about what it is. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we tend to make our next move based off of what we want things to be, not based off what they are. And that's a mistake we all make, man. I still make those mistakes now. I make a lot of moves and do a lot of things based off how I want things to be instead of what they are. And so in order to avoid making those same mistakes, you be laying on your hospital bed regretting later. You see something, is there a sign there? Cut it off. And you can only see signs if you want to see them. You have to want to see them. You have to try to connect. You can't be afraid.
So if you're seeing signs from your intended, your one that you really feel that this is the one that I want to be with, I want to live with the rest of my life, and you see 1, 2 signs, well, maybe those are some things that you can work on. Then there are some that you're saying that no, don't ignore that sign. That's a flag that's been flying for several years, and you haven't been seeing it, but everybody else does.
And that's what I mean. Like, everybody else see the signs, and then you don't, or you don't see, or you see everybody else. I mean, you see the signs, you ignore them. Nobody else sees the signs. Or people in your head telling you this. You have to know who you are. At the end of the day, with whatever. And if you just insist on doing what it is that you want to do, you're gonna have to pay the consequences.
Give us an example.
I'm gonna give you an example.
There you go.
I'm gonna give you an example. The last couple of years, I think 2012 and even this year has been, since my adult life, maybe 2 of the hardest years that I've had in my adult life, for real. And one day, I was sitting in my car, and I'm like questioning these things, like, man, like, why does this keep happening? Why can't I just get ahead, move ahead? And I'm questioning hard, like, what can I do? What is, what's the deal? Just dealing with a lot of stuff. And then, you know, in the midst of asking myself that question, a thought came to my head, and I was basically like, damn, but I made the decision to do that. I made the decision to do this. I made the decision to do that. So what am I complaining about? These are decisions that I made. And once I just really was honest with myself, like, you know, I didn't have to be in my current situation. I made particular decisions to get myself, I made the decision to put myself where I was. Nobody forced my hand. It was decisions that I made. I had to realize, like, basically, there's nobody that I could blame, nobody that I could be mad at. I only can simply be upset with myself. And that was that. And now I'm moving on. You know, man, people who do the wrong thing never ask questions. People who are trying to do the right thing are constantly asking themselves, what am I doing wrong? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's really what it's about. You know what I'm saying? You know, people who know they're doing wrong never ask questions. You know, people like us, people like me, I'm trying to do the right thing, so I'm always questioning what I'm doing wrong. If that makes sense.
In order for you to do better?
Yeah, I'm always questioning, like, people who really, that's really trying to do the right thing, they always have questions. People who doing wrong, they know they're doing wrong, so they don't ask questions. You know what I'm saying? They don't ask questions. So that person was talking about earlier, when I said I don't really have respect for them. I'm like, the next time I seen this person, he didn't ask one question. He didn't say anything. He had like the conversation never happened. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the reason why he didn't ask me anything is he know he had done wrong. You see what I'm saying? So how can you then respect the person?
Unless you brought it up, then they would try to fix it.
Exactly. I don't have to bring it up. You already know what you did. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to bring it up, but you want to be like, what's up? What's going on? you know. So I'm at a point now I don't ask wrong people who know they're wrong any questions either. I don't ask them. They know what the answer is. They know, you know. So that's how you lose respect.
So if you were going to give any advice to individuals who you think are struggling with their evolution, their growth, what advice would you give them?
Pay attention to your actions. Pay attention to your actions. Don't ever think you're getting away with anything. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever think you're getting away with anything, because you're not. You know what I'm saying? You know, I've been around long enough to know that everything comes around. And I mean, it's not even gonna come around in the way that you expect it. It'll come around in the most minute way. You know, and if you're trying to evolve, you'll recognize it when it comes back around, and you'll remember to connect this with something you may have did 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? It's always gonna come back around. And it ain't gonna necessarily slap you in the face, but sometimes it will. It just depends.
The Revolution, we want to thank you for being on the show. The Moderator.
I'm caught up in so many thoughts I can't write. Too much injustice in the world to stay with one thought. So I'm caught between poems while new words are born. Dealing with my own pain while trying to save the world, I'll go against the grain. Some poets have dropped their brain and have forgotten what this is all about. They're only searching for a name, but the creator told me to chill. Humility is a must, and that's real. I'm looking for a divine cause, no time to pause. I breathe what I live, I take what I give, no more, no less. The Creator gave me a test, so much pain in the world, but I'm blessed. And I won't rest until I rest. Purpose that no longer goes by the laws of man. Words that reach far beyond the land. Searching and defining, analyzing and grinding. Words from the soul. Life is cold, so my words are cold. Life is cold, so the truth will be told. I'm not afraid of imperfection. That's how I grow. And I'm still asking salvation to meet me at the back door. And while my compassion and hardcore have war, I'm still asking salvation to meet me at the back door. No more. No more. Salvation. Meet me at the front door. I drop to my knees, Lord, please release this rage from me. I've held on to pain so long, I thought I was strong. My cause and effect can't prove to be wrong. I will release my soul to the world. I will shed a tear for every little boy and girl. I can't fight battles that no longer exist. I know the cause. What's the effect? I look into the abyss. What's in my spirit, my soul, my heart? I will travel the world and find a treasure in my own backyard. Every blessing ignored becomes a curse. Check the alchemist or Proverbs 16, 19 verse. So again I would evolve, find a new chapter, knock down the cause and the effect would rise and rise. I see it in my daughter's eyes. I've been convicted by my own words, by love, lies, lust. Humility is a must.
I'm the man that you think you are. And if it doesn't take legislation to make you a man and your rights recognized, don't even talk that legislative talk to me. No. If we're both human beings, we'll both do the same thing. And if you want to know what I'll do, figure out what you would do.
Escape this It's American scheme, American slide, concrete jungle struggle, American cry, shuck and jive in Americans lie. Slavery fetters and change the black ring around America's eye. Believe the lie like America's high. For most, poverty's the only slice you get from the American pie. You can't rise a clear glass in the American sky while we controlled by dollar bills and a hovering eye. There's no we, no community concerned with I. Twice dead, hoodwink from America's lie. Just peep the greed of this country. America, why? To hypocrisy of this nation, America's side.
Something is wrong. America's fornicating. They got the rest of the world masturbating. I'm not Republic or Democrat, so there's no sense in debating. Why trust a system that don't trust me? I guess I continue to slide that debit card and scan that barcode, collect reward points. I can't forget my zip code. America has been sold. It doesn't matter if you're young or old. We on the revolutionary road.
American cheese mixed to American jack. The black America or America's black. Slave labor is America's crack. It started with black, now it's mortgages stacked on America's back. You've been wooed by America's Mac. It's swagger jack. Politicians sell America crack and set us back, and we still pay American tax. Black Wall Street, the world on America's track. And sin stack, consuming fire cleans America's act. Somehow you missed all them lines in America's facts. America's stats, numbers skewed, boosting the stats. You sick of that mind state, then do a favor, give America back.
I'm speaking of mental revolution and spiritual evolution. We on a commercial break, stay tuned for the conclusion. Who will it be, you or me? Purpose of vanity. America's using currency to control your creativity. Americans love and hate, but that's hypocrisy. The American dream is a fantasy. Don't be a pawn or submit to America's strategy. Don't be mad at